Greetings, my friends, and welcome to yet another Q&A. Now, I'm going to begin things with a little bit of an atypical introduction, due to the fact that I had received some additional questions pertaining to one of the answers in a previous Q&A. When asked what procedures were in place in the event of the ship falling from the sky, I said, as a joke, that no such measures had been prepared. It would seem that more than one of you was not paying attention during your introduction to life aboard my ship. Each of you was given a personal flotation pack, which can provide you with not only a slow descent to the ground below, but contains several days of supplies, if you stay in the shade, which you will all become more intimately familiar with as I am now instituting a ship-wide daily unpacking and repacking of your flotation devices. Be sure to inform the rest of the crew that you were instrumental in improving our daily routine. Anyways, time for the actual Q&A. Captain, I hope this letter finds you well. Between all your travels, which is the beast that you feared the most while fighting? I'm curious to know what terrible kind of creature could send shivers down your spine. During my days in the Svengeir, there was a device that was meant to be a rubbish receptacle. However, it seemed to have a more broad palate. A wild beast is one thing, but being attacked by a bean is another. Captain, what do you think of the occasional mercenary we can hire with complex technology and their implants? And has there ever been a language barrier with a current or ex-member of the crew? Well, language barriers are not so difficult to overcome with such a diverse crew. And as for us Svengeir devices nestled in one's flesh? What, you don't have one? I don't, I'm just messing around. Which, apparently I have to make sure that people know. Oh, forget about it. If you could turn into any enemy the expedition could face, which would you pick and why? I suppose, one of the Levantine commanders? I'm not quite sure what you're expecting to hear. My duties would be rather challenging to carry out as a sandworm, as ferocious as it may be. Can you share a story about the time you had to make a critical decision under pressure? A decision under pressure? When I was but a lieutenant, there was a terrible battle against some skyfaring corsairs, and my captain had been grievously wounded. Did I repel the borders or attempt to rescue our leader? Saving the captain would have been for naught if the ship was not defended, and as such, the medal I earned from that fight hangs from his saber on my wall. Do you think perhaps if our paths crossed differently, the Janissary could have joined our cause? The Janissary oaths were more than just in his word. Perhaps in another life, things could have been different, but alas, his loyalty and his bondage were one and the same. Nevertheless, I am honored to call him an adversary. Dearest Captain, is there a name for the little mushroom helpers that I find all over the ship? Aha! The Shrumkus Domovol. Our wonderful witch of the forge brought these fungal friends to the ship, though not by choice. They are natural spirits that enjoy taking up space in human homes. Their behavior can vary drastically from spirit to spirit, but they have been known to take a liking to people of certain natures or disciplines. They follow Sophia wherever she goes, whether she wants them to or not. You've undoubtedly noticed quite a few meandering about the ship, keeping themselves busy, but not all of them were upon her arrival. Their exact method of manifestation yet remains a worldly mystery. As one of the longest janitors on the staff, I ask what are your opinions on necromancy in general, since we have the veiled on our side. I'm sorry to ask, I have a passion for the living dead. Willie, senior janitor. When you have lived and served under the Svengeir Empire as I have, necromancy is hardly the most unnatural thing I've witnessed. We must also keep in mind the differences between raw necromancy and the mysterious precision of resurrection. Whatever this passion for the living dead is, perhaps some matters of the undead should remain a mystery, eh? Greetings, my friends. I hope this letter finds you in good health during this busy time of the year. My question to you is, how do you act when you have had too much to drink? Are you a showman who dances and sings throughout the night? Or someone that always reminds the crew of how much they mean to them? Best guess. Too much to drink. Well, I can't say for certain these days, but in my younger years, my fellow Skymen would try to outdo me. I cannot claim I was always the winner, but I would most definitely say they were always the losers. Dear Captain, given the peculiarities of amber, what is the best way to eat amber? Skip. Dearest Captain, can I grind up amber and use it for No. Captain, can I eat amber? How many more questions about amber are there? Or 15 more? Oh, okay, look, I'm not answering any more questions about amber consumption. If you want to eat amber, go ahead and eat amber. I don't care anymore. Oh. This would be a rather philosophical query, good Captain, but if death and aging were less of a worry, where you can live in your prime as long as you want until you desire the curtain, would you live for a few hundred or 1,000 years? Perhaps more, maybe even watch over your kin as an eternal watcher for eons upon aeons. An amusing concept, really. I cannot say I've had to put much thought into it before, but I would like to think my vigilance would be eternal, simply as a matter of duty. I know they say eternity is longer than you would think, but perhaps there are eternal opportunities to do better. Hello, Captain. Can you tell us about the meaning and the story of the Flameseeker's insignia? The crest we don is indeed one of strong significance. One section denotes a previous era of the Osvengir, one that I do miss, as the Empire still had some sense of humility despite the explosive expansion at the time. The center is simply the representation of faith and worship, regardless of which power that faith be placed in. The stripes denote the mercenary nature of this campaign, and the last section is of what is to come, and why we must see this endeavor to its conclusion. Greetings, and a merry winter solstice, fellow Skyfarer, and a merry solstice to you as well. Does the Flameseeker still fly the Osvengir banner, or is it a pirate ship? If so, what is your pirate captain name? I have discarded the Osvengir ship, not out of lament, shame, or some other manner of bitterness, but simply as the acceptance that my life carries on. But if I were a man of piracy, that is quite a difficult one. Oh, perhaps this, the great Captain Brightteeth. I am quite proud of my oral care. How would you describe each hero you send out into the unknown with one or two words? In your humble opinion, of course. Let's see if I can rifle them off. The Abomination, unbreakable. The Antiquarian, inquisitive. The Arbalist, reliable. The Bounty Hunter, efficient. The Crusader, valiant. The Grave Robber is resourceful. The Hellion, powerful. Highwayman is guileful. The Houndmaster, principled. And the dog is simply adorable. The Jester, darkly amusing. Leper, noble. The Man-at-Arms, respectable. Musketeer, precise. The Occultist, disciplined. The Plague Doctor, questionably motivated. The Vestal, devoted. The Flatulent. Moving on. The Shieldbreaker, graceful. The Judicator, intriguingly dissonant. The Dredge, brutal ingenuity. The Veiled, unnerving, yet trustworthy. The Hexer. The Philomath, unhinged but brilliant. The Thrall, there is more to him than you'd think. And I believe that is it. That's all the questions we had time for today. We appreciate each and every one of you who supports us through our long and arduous journey to the Black Reliquary. I hope you all have a very happy winter solstice, and I bid you all adieu.